Alright, hello everyone, my name is Shep, welcome back to the Circus, and today I'm going to be talking about what could very well be the best beginner team in the Circus. So Shep, why is it the best beginner team? Well, it's all characters that aren't DLC exclusive, so no Flagellant, no Shieldbreaker, and it's all trinkets and of course abilities that you can have immediately at level 1. Trinkets are unlocked by levels, abilities are unlocked by levels, just the trinkets. So you will find yourself in a bit of a weird spot when you try to trinket your teams, having only prestige level 1 unlocked, and you go look at some YouTuber and they have all the bells and whistles with their gauntlets of absolutions and their tinctures of Viola, you know, pretty much all the goodies. But now you'll be able to fight back using just the beginner trinkets, which is basically just the common ones. And not only is it just the common ones, you also only get a copy of each, just one copy. You'll end up with 2, but for now you only have 1. I will go over the best trinket choices after you do unlock all the trinkets, but that'll be after this match. Before that happens, I will explain how you actually want to play this team, because it's not as easy as just, you know, click Bellow and click Self Accusation, which, you know, it's a stress team, so you might think it's going to be as easy as that, but there's a lot of science to it, and that's what we're going to be trying to figure out here. So one thing that I should mention before I actually keep on gaming is that I'm playing against the Mortal Musketeer team, so if you get into the Butcher's Circus and the first team you play against is the Immortal Musketeer, I wouldn't blame you for quitting the Butcher's Circus on the spot. This team that I'm playing against is so ridiculously annoying that this is definitely going to be one of the matches of all time, but I will still try making it out. So what is the thing that you usually go for when you're playing with a team like this? You round 1, action 1, just transform and slam. The transform applies horror to all the enemy characters, which is absolutely lovely, because you do want to win with stress. Stress is your win condition, so you're only going to win if you apply stress to the enemy characters. That's what you want to do. So not only do you transform, you go for a slam, you disrupt whatever character they don't want disrupted. So you need to know their abilities, you need to know what they want to do, and you need to try and counter them like so. So in this spot, I'm actually going to use a Toxin Trickery here, and then you have a lot of choices to use with the other characters, because all of them have self-buffs, so like permanent buffs. There's the Bellow, there's the Blork of Light, there's the Grave Robbers, Toxin Trickery. In this situation, since I know this match is gonna last like at least 20 rounds, I decided that it would be a good enough idea to just go ahead and drop all 3 battle buffs at once. Usually that's not going to happen. What you're usually going to do is after you transform slam, you're likely going to need accuracy, because these characters really like accuracy. Crusader likes accuracy, Zealous Acquisition has garbage hit chance, Grave Robber really likes accuracy, her Panic Darts doesn't have fantastic hit chance, so you're going to use your command buffs, which is a really good ability, pretty much the ability you're going to be spamming all game long, and you're going to be giving yourself that accuracy if your opponent has any reasonable amount of dodge. If you have a miss chance, just if you think you're going to have like an 80% hit chance with your Zealouses, don't do it, just give yourself the command buff and make sure that you actually stick the landing. So, in terms of how I want to play this match, I don't think I actually have to go for the command buffs here. I have enough accuracy trinkets, so instead I'm just going to be spamming the Bellow debuffs. So this team, the way you play it is really dependent on what you go up against, because if you go up against other stress teams, your Bellows are still fine, but they're not really going to be doing too much, which is a bit on the unfortunate side, but what can you do about it? But if you go against the damage team, what you want to do is pretty much never drop Bolster and just start spamming Bellow from round 1. If you go against a damage team like with Bounty Hunter, an Arbalist, Crusader, Leper, anything of the sorts, you just start spamming Bellow from round 1. You might notice, but Shep, why do you have a Man-at-Arms with no Defender? Isn't this like one of the strongest abilities in the early game? Here's the thing, right? With this trinket setup that I have, with this defensive setup that I have, I actually don't think you'll be better off going for the guards, because chances are, if you're going for guards, your opponent has a way of breaking them, and you're wasting your precious Man-at-Arms turns, and you're thinking that you're making yourself safe when you're actually not. You're just making your life worse, which of course isn't what you want, right? You don't want to make your life worse and give yourself place of a win chance. So it is kind of weird. It's kind of a nihilistic view of the men-at-arms guard. You know, why guard if you're gonna get stunned? That's kind of the idea. Thing is, this man-at-arms can do it because he has numbing instance, but I only have one numbing instance. But in this team, I prefer running Pitfighter, Helm, and Eerie. You really need to run these two trinkets, by the way, because that means that your bells are going to be doing a bit more stress, you're going to be more survivable, and you're going to have more accuracy and debuff skill chances. I should also mention what the trinkets are actually doing here. I probably got a little bit ahead of myself. But what we want the trinkets to do is, you know, just what I immediately explained for the man-at-arms trinkets here. There's another few choices you can go for. You can also go for numbing instance, give yourself stress take, minus stress take, and then a bit extra stun resistance. If you do that, take away the retribution, give yourself guard. The reason I really have the retribution here instead of the guard is because you might go up against a Flagellant at the end of the game, and then this is very advanced, but if they have to go to the absolution trinket, your bellows will pretty much heal his stress. Having retribution here is always a nice thing. In terms of the trinkets for the other characters, the Crusader is going to lose both of these trinkets, actually, once he does get his trinkets unlocked, but they pretty much do the exact same thing. The Writ of Execution gives you much what Carnival Mask gives you, but better. So really sad that you have this. You really should be looking to replace it whenever. And the Eagle Eye Talisman can actually be used even after you unlock all the trinkets. You can run Eagle Eye Talisman and Writ of Execution. You'll really not need too much accuracy. You'll honestly just kind of chill for a good while. With that, you won't need to use command buffs. You can just go for the bells and go for the stealth accusations, but personally I prefer running Pitfighter's Helm and Rate of Execution. Pitfighter's Helm, once again, lots of prot, and if you go against those damage teams, if they don't have any sort of DOT, if you are able to get that Block of Light off, you have two very tanky characters, a very dodgy character, and a character that's sort of self-reliant. Not extremely self-reliant, but sort of self-reliant, so you'll be having a really good time. Now, who's not having a good time at this point is my Abomination, because I have to pile into their pile, which I obviously don't want to do, right? Yeah, it's gonna be difficult here. It's gonna be a bit difficult. I could force out your heal. I could also go for the Slam here. The Slam here could be nice, but it puts me out of position. I kind of don't want to do it. I could go for the Rage. Let's go for the Rage, let's do it. Let's force your heal out a bit early. I don't mind doing this at this point. This is just a really difficult match. Don't expect your first match to be as technical as this one, because you're gonna have to be making the right moves like 10 turns in a row, like 4 actions each to even have a chance of winning against the Immortal Musketeers. So it is a bit unfortunate, but you should not expect to play into this. In terms of trinkets for the Abomination, he's gonna end up having the Wretch's Cloak, which gives you 10 accuracy, stress, stealth, and horror duration, so it's the absolute best trinket you can run on him. The team honestly feels kind of weak comparatively without it. It's just a bit sad, but you just bring the numbing instance instead to give yourself a little bit of survivability, which is also perfectly fine. And you give yourself the Retiarus net, so you can actually push the enemy characters and give yourself a little bit of accuracy. Come on, Butcher Circus, let me click, there we go. Yeah, the Retiarus Knight here, really good trinket for the slams. I pretty much bring it all the time. You're probably not going to replace it. You could replace it with one of his other unique trinkets, but that's just going to be up to you once you actually unlock them. With Grave Robber, you're still going to run Monkey's Paw even after you unlock all the trinkets. Just a lot of dodge, a lot of accuracy. This is one of the best trinkets. And then you're going to run the Rotting Trophy, which is a nice trinket. It has its upside, it has its upsides and downsides. I'm not sure if upside is actually a word, but let's just pretend it is. It has its ups and downs compared to her unique trinkets, but it's still pretty good. But I do eventually either change you out for the Leather Bandolier or the Satchel of Dirty Tricks, which both give you a mix of accuracy and dodge, as well as crit chance, stress, stealth, and blight chance. Both of them are pretty nice, also down to you which one you want to bring. But personally, Satchel of Dirty Tricks. It's kind of like this one, but also gives you dodge and accuracy. It's really good. It is really quite good. So, in terms of how this match is actually going, I'm just gonna have to keep spamming Panic Darts onto these characters. Usually by round 4, you'll either have lost or you'll have won with this team. I should mention this team is actually called the Flagellant Stress team. I'm playing it in a bit of a different way, just ever so slightly different. But yeah, it is the Flagellant Stress team, kind of an ancient one, which I've repurposed into the best beginner team. The version that I had before this was with a doggy in the back, which was called the Zedus stress comp. The reason I changed out the doggy for the grave robbers because it's a bit less punishing for the newer players, because if you go second and your abomination and your grave robber, or you know, back then the doggy gets pulled before the abomination gets to act, your doggy will be in position 2, your abomination will have to transform and move forward. When you have a Wretch's Cloak, that's perfectly okay. When you don't have a Wretch's Cloak, you don't do damage for it, so it doesn't feel quite as good. But now, if your position 4 character gets pulled, which is highly unlikely because, I mean, look at the dodge, but even if she does get pulled, you can go Shadow Fade and your Abomination goes right into position. So this is a really good synergy between the Abomination and the Grave Robber that you always have to be watching for. So I'm just gonna keep spamming the Bell Devos, that's what I'm gonna be trying to be doing, and we just have to do the right moves each and every single time, and eventually my opponent's team will crumble, or at least I hope that they do crumble. I've tried making them crumble here, but it is being rather difficult, especially when I keep getting the blights on my Abomination. That's not helping whatsoever. That isn't helping me at all. Also, my bellows are doing, I mean, my zealots are doing like 2 damage because I don't have Writ of Execution. It sucks so much. Okay, that's a little bit better though, that's a little bit better. He had to change the guard to the Musketeer. It looks like if I win this match, it's going to be through exhausting the Flagellant. But, oh, he actually has the exotic snuff here. That's an interesting choice. 2 snuffs. Personally, I wouldn't. But I guess if you have a men-at-arms like this, it makes a bit more sense. I think Flagellant with Last Breath color here is just a tiny touch better. But you know, it's what my opponent's running here. So, thankfully, in this case, I do actually go last, so the Flagellant will drop, and then I can actually go for the Death Blow. And of course, if they don't drop either the Exsanguinate here or Redeem, I will go for the Death Blow. They can go for the Suffer, but oh, they go for the Exsang, and they do hit it. What's their hit chance? Okay, they've been spamming those freaking ranging shots over and over and over again, so that is helping them out here. I will say you don't always want to just spam your absolutions. I kind of want to save my, I kind of want to risk it for the biscuit here, but I can't justify it into a riposte and then a beast pile on me. That's a 25 and a 40. That's not too likely that I survive. So I must say that this Abomination will likely not live too much longer here, which, yeah, it is a bit on the unfortunate side of things, but, you know, what can I do? What can I do? This isn't really the matchup you'd usually run into. This team feels a lot better against damage teams, so hopefully for the second match I'll be able to show that off. But even then, you're still going to be able to put up a very good fight against these stress teams, because you have the tools for it. You have the Zealous Accusation, you have your Panic Darts, you have your Abomination transformations, and of course you have the Men-at-Arms to tie them all together. With the bolsters and the commands and the bellows to just keep your team alive and keep the enemy team far from alive. That's what you want to do. So I think in this case, he's still not afflicted. Jesus, he goes for the Retribution, so I really can't be Spile. That's hilarious. The Retribution on this Men-at-Arms, huh? No command buff. I guess they think the ranging shot is enough. Interesting. I highly disagree. I highly disagree because of a few matchups, but that doesn't really matter too much right now. I'm just gonna use the bellows here, get him just a tiny touch closer to an affliction. We'll get there soon, right? It's round 6, and I haven't gotten a single affliction off. I was really not in the mood for a matchup like this, but what can I do, right? I signed up for it, so now I have to play it. They're not quite dropping to 0 here. I could drop them to 0. That is a possibility, and yeah, you know, it's good, whatever. Let's drop them to 0 here. Let's drop the Flagellant down, and he has to go for yet another heal unless he wants to suffer the 20%. There is nothing else for my Abomination to do here. I mean, nothing better for my Abomination to do either, so if he doesn't drop the heal, I will just oh, I will go for the 10%. I know it. I'll go for the 10%. Come on, RNG. Come on, RNG. Give me that 10%. Ah! There we go. There we go. There we go. Alright, and now we might actually be able to win this. Now we might be able to win this. It's not a guaranteed winning chance because I don't have a Flagellant. If I had a Flagellant Conduit of Absolution, this match would be won. But sadly, I don't. I have an Abomination instead, which is really nice character as well, but he has his downsides. He has his downsides for sure. I want to use his final action, but if I go Beast Spile here, I die. So I kind of don't want to do anything with him. But at the same time, if I don't do anything with him, he just dies. He's just in such a terrible spot here. Yeah, he's in such a terrible spot. I could heal him, but that doesn't achieve anything for me whatsoever, so it isn't really the best move. So instead, I'm just going to sell it here. I'm almost running out of time. One thing that I do have to say is that I almost run out of time, then I immediately click to move. Like, I'm using all 30 seconds to both commentate and to think about my move. Because you're gonna run into a matchup like this. No, not always gonna run into a matchup like this, but you're gonna play and you're gonna figure out that, you know, you have so many buttons to click and all of them look quite juicy, but you don't know which one to click. That's gonna come with time. The more you try and fail, try and fail, the more you'll learn about the Butcher's Circus and the closer you'll be to making the best choice, at least the majority of the time, which is really what you want here. Yeah, in this situation I've already lost my Abomination, I'm going to lose my Men-at-Arms soon, but I still have a very healthy Crusader and a very healthy Grave Robber, so I'm hoping that they can try and carry this match. They have, how much accuracy they have? Plus 20. They might miss their pass, but regardless, I'll still go for the Bellow debuff here first, make sure that he doesn't do that much damage, even if he does hit. And it is a tiny waste of stress, but I think I'll live with it. Yeah, I should be able to live with it. It's just so unfortunate that that my Abomination was kind of useless. This is what you should expect in this matchup. If I had the better trinkets, this matchup would be just a tiny touch better, because my Abomination would have applied more horror, and the Musketeer's ranging shots wouldn't have been quite as impactful. I would have gotten Afflictions quite a while ago, but sadly that wasn't really the case here. So now the Men-at-Arms is going to go Afflicted, and also in this team you only have one healer, but that's okay. Don't be trigger happy with your heals. Just because you see a character that is slower doesn't mean you have to heal him. Even though my opponent has both Retribution and the Musketeer with the aim shot here, healing the Men-at-Arms at this point in time is not the move. If I heal the Men-at-Arms here, he's just going to die sooner. Maybe I could save him. Maybe I could save him this turn, and but he's still going to die start of next round, and I'd rather drop a Zealot here, right? Honestly, no. I will go against my own advisor, and I will actually heal the Men-at-Arms. This is not something I'd usually do. The reason I'm doing this is because the corpse is going away, and because Zealot is only a one-target hit, and because I also heal myself for a tiny touch. So you're always going to have to be fighting against yourself in your head to see what is your best way of winning. But the things you're going to have to be fighting in between are quite simple. Either you do stress or you save your characters. That's two things that are always in play here. And in this moment, what should I go for? Should I keep spamming panic darts on the Men-at-Arms, or should I shift focus to the Abomination for a bit? He could hit me with a repulse, and I wouldn't like it. No, I wouldn't. This repulse tickles. Yeah, it tickles me. Just 2 damage, I don't care. I'm just gonna drop another panic dart on him, and then I might shift the focus to the Abomination, but we'll see. We'll see before then. So they go Retribution here on the corpse, just trying to clear it, it seems, so the Respile can actually hit my Grave Robber at the same time. Definitely what I want to do. And I just move forward. I'm okay with that. Let's do one more Bellow. Don't really need the accuracy buffs. Let's potentially use my final action here with the Men-at-Arms, and now he's very likely to die. I mean, it's a 40, so he's not very, very likely to die, but there's a decently good chance that he does. But he lives, meaning that I could heal him again, but now I have to hit into 2 characters with Zealot, so I'd much rather do that. Opalus, what does he do? Okay, he survives somehow. I got a 10% and my opponent has failed 3 Death's Door checks on my Men-at-Arms. So you can see how much justice there is in this world. You can see how much justice there is in this match. And they're gonna be curing the blights. Oh, the Men-at-Arms says no. Oh, that's huge. That is absolutely ginormous. I will say I'm playing against Lamonte. This is the darkest opponent. I've played against this person before. It is always a pleasure, even if I disagree with the moves of having no command buff on the Men-at-Arms. I guess it kind of makes sense. In case you do lose your Flagellant, at least you can still use Retribution, but I think it's still lost. The team that my opponent is playing here is definitely not something you can play if you're just starting the game off. It is very trinket dependent, so don't think even for a second you'll be able to pull it off. and it's also very high skill capped. So if you're playing it, you'll feel like you have a skill issue, but it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine to start off the circus and be a little bit clueless as to what your opponent is always doing. If everyone knew everything right from the start, the Butcher Circus would be fun, right? That's the way it goes. It kind of makes sense to heal again. It kind of makes sense to heal again instead of dropping a zealous. Dude, what am I doing? Oh, fine, I'll heal him again. Okay, I'll keep the Man-at-Arms alive. Ugh, I hate healing characters. I just like sacrificing them and going aggressive with my zealous accusation, but... Come on, say no again. Oh, that's huge! That's absolutely ginormous. Oh, that is so good. Man-at-Arms says no twice because that's hopeless. And here's what I can do now, right? I can go for the panic darts, and he's gonna go down to 0 here. He even misses the repulse, and yeah, he's dropping down to 0 now, and I will have a death blow chance with either the Zealous or the Man-at-Arms. Of course, the Man-at-Arms might do 0 damage. They go for the Manacles on my Crusader to make sure that the Zealous doesn't screw him over, so I'm just going to click here, and I'm gonna have the death blow chance potentially. Now, here's the problem. He has 70 prot. I'm at this store. So, oh, he marks himself. There you go. That's my favorite Hopeless character. And I am at this store, but Hopeless isn't minus damage in this situation. He's down to 40 prot. I might be able to do damage. Let's see. I do want to do... Yep, there it goes. There it goes. A 10 and a 25. Thank you, Ring Mommy. The Ring Mommy knows what I'm doing. She knows that I'm playing with a beginner team. She knows that I have the least optimal trinkets. She knows that I am destined to win this match. Lamonte fails the 4th death blow on my Man-at-Arms, and with a little bit of RNG and a lot of skillful plays, we take the W. This is a team that, if you complain that, oh, the team sucks, you have a skill issue. You need to keep gaming, you need to keep learning, and the team will work if you are skillful with it. You just have a lot of options and you need to use them wisely, and let's use them wisely once again in match number 2. Alright, and here we go, straight into match number 2 against one of my best friends, not Stormy today, so I've specifically requested that he plays with a damage team, and here it is. He's playing with the Halo comp. This is one of the strongest Witcher Circus teams, one of the strongest damage teams. It has Bounty Hunter, it has the Arbalest, has the stuns, it has all the goodies to take you down, but I'm still gonna try to push on, even though I don't have the best trinkets, even though I don't have the best things going for me. So in this situation, they go for a stun, which is risky. It's an 80% hit chance, but they do it because they have to stop the Blurk of Light. If I get Blurk of Light off here, things will be very good for me, but of course my opponent doesn't want that to happen. So if that happens, what you have to do is you have to make a choice. Either you transform Slam to your Bounty Hunter, or you click your Crusader to make sure that his finish him doesn't go off, because if you don't have the Pitfighter's Helm especially, the finish him can hit you for a lot with that stun synergy, so don't let it go off. I'm gonna go for the Transform Slam here, and from position 4 he can't use the finish him anymore. And I rhymed. That's very nice. So it will be really good for me. So he's going to drop the Caltrops here, which is definitely one of the moves in the Butcher Circus. I always advocate for it. I always drop the Caltrops round 1. In this situation, in this team, maybe not the bestest move. Maybe the best move would have been to mark my bounty, my Abomination here, shoot the Abomination, kill the Abomination. It's probably what I would have done if I were playing a Stormy. So the one time you'll see me saying don't drop Caltrops, but in this situation, you see that my opponent here has 2 damage moves. I don't have guards, I don't have anything of the like, so just drop the Bellow, reduce their damage, and this is what the Man-at-Arms has to be doing. Bellow after bellow after bellow against each damage team. Just keep spamming it, and between the stress from the transformations, between the stress from the bellows, their characters will go afflicted eventually, and once their characters go afflicted, your match is going to go from kind of hell to a hell of a lot better, which also kind of rhymes. No, it doesn't rhyme, but I used the same word twice. Yeah, so I have a bit of a choice here with my Grave Robbers, so you can choose which character you focus down with the Panic Darts. Personally, I prefer the Arbalest. You don't have a miss chance against the Arbalest like you do into the Bounty Hunter, which, you know, missing the Bounty Hunter with your Panic Darts is the worst, maybe not the worst feeling, but one of the worst feelings in the Circus, so don't let that happen. Thankfully here the Arbos only hits for 11, which is the absolute min-roll that she could have done. She could have crit me for a lot there, but because the Battle debuff and yeah, pretty much just because the Battle debuff I actually managed to survive here. So I was really hoping that the numbing instance would give me the 5% stun resistance and I would have survived there, but it looks like that wasn't the case, and in this situation I have a few choices. So I can drop the Block of Light now, I can still do it, I can definitely still do it, but at this point I'm questioning whether it's the best play or not. I am questioning it. I am questioning whether it's the best play or not, because I want to keep my healer up, so instead I will just drop a Bell here. Here's the thing, when you're playing against the Jester, you need to be wary of their finale, but here is yet another thing. If they have to drop a finale to kill one of my characters, it's a win for me, because how this team works is, and you're gonna have to learn this for pretty much every team you play into, how this team works is that if they get a kill without using finale and then they use the finale on another character, then they're in a 4v2 with 2 healers and one of them is a stunner as well, so you've pretty much lost at that point. So you need to prevent that from happening. You don't always need to save one of your characters, so I don't have to be looking at the finale and know the numbers like, oh, he's doing like 9 damage right now, so I'm gonna heal and maybe save my Abomination. No, that's not what we do here. What we do here is make sure that if he wants to get the kill, he's gonna have to do it through finale. And since it's on the Abomination, I really don't care all that much. If I had a Flagellant character, things would be different. You don't want your Flagellant to be finale'd. But since I don't have a Flagellant character, all the characters are very dynamic, all of them are stress dealers, all of them are crucial to the team. So I will just try to keep them safe. So I'm gonna drop just my Abomination turn here, and this is very important, the order in which you drop your turns. That's why I hate the base game. I had to say it, I hate the base game because it's just, you can't make teams, you can't make strategies just work quite as well. I mean, you make a really good team, right? And that's about it. Then you just get the RNG, and you can't even pick your characters for yourself. The characters just gets picked after you pick the team, and then, you know, you just have to go for the right move then. But you don't have to go for the right move by actually clicking the characters and knowing when to click the characters, when not to click the characters. It's so decided for you so arbitrarily, and that's something that not having in the Butcher's Circus is such a boon. It gives you so many options as to how you should play, and right now I'm in a really good spot here. Why is that? Why I'm in a really good spot? So, the Arbalest has 2 battle debuffs and Fearful. That's minus 65% damage, so she actually has to flare here because she's probably doing like 5 damage by Abomination at this point, because the battle debuffs have been crippling to my opponent's side, which is of course what I want. So in this situation, you might have noticed my Crusader hasn't done anything worthwhile. He's just used the heal and passed the turn, and now he looks like he isn't doing anything, but he's being so important here. Just this one heal is saving my life over and over and over again. But this time it won't, because my Abomination is sadly going down to 0. So now I'm given a choice, and this is very advanced. This is very advanced, but here you don't heal. Why do I not heal? If I heal now, my opponent goes first start of next round, so if I heal now, they go for the Dirk Snap, put me down to 0 HP, and then their finish him kills me. But if I don't heal now, I might survive the 35% death blow chance, and I'll heal after their turn to stay alive. That's what I want to do at this point in time, so I'm just trying to explain this. Of course, you're not gonna have to do that every single match, just go for these mega 5-head plays, 200 IQ. It's very easy to spot. Well, no, not very easy, but oh, that's so unfortunate. It gets easier to spot with time, but here, very sadly, it did not work, and now my opponent got the kill there. It's very unfortunate, but such is the way of the Butcher's Circus. I can still lose this one, that's for sure. It's unfortunate, but, you know, what can I do, right? Sadly, my Abomination only got to transform once as well, which is also really sad. But, I mean, without the Wretch's Cloak, it's just such a way more difficult matchup. A thing I should have mentioned about the Abomination in the first match is... Oh, in the first match wouldn't have mattered too much, but in matchups like these, and in matchups that don't involve a team that just relies on stress healing to win its match, what you should be doing over and over again is just making sure that you get both transformations off with your Abomination. If you can do that, you'll be really well. In this team, with this setup that I've given you, it's a bit more difficult to do because you don't have guards, you do have the heals from the Crusader, but you're definitely missing a few things. which is just a touch unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world for you. You can still keep the Abomination relatively alive, and you will almost always get at least one transformation off, which is already quite good, and then they'll just probably dogpile on him, which is why you could maybe argue for bringing a defensive trinket instead of the Retiarus net. You could argue for having like Wretch's Cloak, Quest of the Beast. At the end of this match I will just show you all the trinkets so you can have a good idea of what I'm actually talking about here, because I might sound like, you know, like I know every single trinket from the back of my mind, and honestly I do, but no, he's gonna go virtuous, no, don't do it. Oh, he goes powerful. Oh, that's just horrible. Yeah, he has the Sacred Blade, so this is a trinket you unlock at level 50. The only thing you need to know about this trinket is that it's broken overpowered. It's too strong. It is too strong. It's gonna get nerfed eventually. It's gonna get nerfed soon, right? I hope. Yeah, soon. We can hope for nerfs soon enough. After 3 years of Witcher Circus, we can hope for nerfs, but there are ways around it, of course. Oh, and I failed the Bellow debuff already. Oh, because of the Virtue. Oh my god. Yeah. Witcher Circus, so he's gonna go for the double stun here. Please don't get it. Oh my god. Yeah, this is being a very unfortunate match, let me tell you that much. I have to click here, but I'm probably gonna get finale'd, and I'm probably gonna lose this match because of the Virtue Crusader. It's gonna be really difficult for me to win this now. But what I have to hope for here is that the Arbos passes her turn with Fearful. I'm able to get a Bellow Death or a Bellow Heart Attack start of next round. Please, Arbos, I need you to do something stupid. You haven't had a single act out. Come on, I need a Fearful pass here if I want to win. No, not a pass! And she lives. Oh, and with a crit heal as well. Come on, where is the justice? Where is the justice? It's gone. There's no justice in this world. And how much damage did they have in their finale? Oh, that's a lot. That's 14 to 25. Okay, I might have to go for a Hail Mary here. Ah, jeez. This is a Hail Mary play. The reason I dropped the Panic Darts here on the Jester is that I need to pray that he goes with some terrible affliction and he finales the corpse or my Man-at-Arms or something of the likes, because right now he has almost enough damage to finale my Grave Robber. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. He gets a high roll. I thought that because the Paranoid he wouldn't have quite enough, and technically he shouldn't have had quite enough, but it was just enough to take me out here, and sadly I will be losing this one. It is unfortunate, but I will be losing this one. It ended up being kind of a close call, but between the Virtue and between me not having the Wretch's Cloak, I will most sadly be losing. Here's the thing. You can choose between having a Grave Robber with Panic Darts and having a Doggy with Houndsary. In this situation, having a Doggy with Houndsary would have absolutely won me the match. Because having that strength from the Houndsary just apply on everyone really shreds through these teams. In the previous match, I would have lost if I had a Doggy, but in this match, I would have won if I had a Doggy to use the Houndsary. So you really need to play over them and just get a feel for it, see what you actually want to bring on these teams. So, in this situation, if I move forward I get stunned, but I still have to do it, of course, so I'm gonna move forward here. And I mean, against the Virtuous Crusader with Powerful, it's gonna be a little bit rough, but I might still be able to get like 1 or 2 more kills off. Fearful, say no. Oh, I'm fearful. I'm still holding on because there's 3 afflictions here. It feels like they've done just absolutely nothing. I'm very surprised my opponent even goes for the heal. They're very unnecessary in my opinion. They just had to stun me and finish him on me and then kill me with the Dark Staff. They go for the round 6 battle. Which is hilarious. But yeah, this match definitely would have gone way different if I had the better trinkets. At least the Man-at-Arms was doing his job. Like you can see the Man-at-Arms was the one that was doing the best. The Arbos, the Grave Robber did their thing, making the Arbos really have a terrible time, but she didn't finish the job fast enough. The Abomination sadly just died a bit too fast, and while the Grave Robber did well, I just didn't really get the afflictions by like round 3-4, which is what you usually would get if you had the Wretch's Cloak on your Abomination. So the team is already quite good. It's definitely already quite good, but I need a crit here. I need an act out here. Come on, someone do an act out. Say something bad. Oh, what are these characters doing? Where's the act out? This is so unfortunate. The previous match I got extremely lucky, and now I get just extremely unlucky. Oh, yeah, such is the way with the Witcher Circus. The RNG, it's It turns and turns and turns. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. They do 4 damage here despite the finish him. Yeah, protection can do that to someone that still has, you know, damage debuffs and all that. This Chester will likely die here, but he goes for the final solo potentially. Well, I say final solo and potentially, but oh, the corpse goes away. Well, that's maybe good. It's maybe good actually, that means I might have a Zealous here. But you can see, even though the match kind of looked lost for a second there, if this Crusader had gone like irrational, if the Sarbles had passed like once, and if I had a Writ of Pitfighter Helm here on my own Crusader, this would have been a completely different match. We would be absolutely winning, as well as the Wretch's Cloak. And, you know, maybe the Affliction's doing a little bit more than they have. Fearful doesn't pass once, doesn't say no to anything. Just having a really fantastic time here against the Sarbles. Okay, finally she passes. Now that she's in a safe spot, she can pass. Yeah. Ah, I love the Witcher's Circus so much. He's gonna go for the finish him here. Oh no, yeah, my Crusader is going down to 0. And now is when I lose the match, because... Okay, there's a way. There's a way. Hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. There's a way. It's... fearful, selfish... There is sort of a way. I have to go aggressive here. Here's the thing. If you go for just a rally to the flame here, you get hit with a stunning blow, and you get put down to 0 HP, and you just die regardless. So you're not gonna do that. You're not gonna do that. That's griefing a match. What my opponent's gonna do here is either he's gonna go for the finish him, but now I'm gonna hope that my Bellow and the Knocked Out does enough stress. I don't think it will. I don't think it will. It would be really close, but I'm hoping that he tries to go for a heal on a character now, and both of them say no, but that's impossible. Both of them won't say no. He's got the 3 act-outs from the freaking... he's got the 3 act-outs from the goddamn powerful buff. And Fearful passes once again, but sadly, my Man-at-Arms, he does have Retribution here, so it is what I'm gonna be going for. Come on, crit. Oh, I really need a crit for 4 there. I mean, is there any world where I get a crit for 4? There is actually. I have Flask here standing. I could have gotten it. I could have gotten the crit there and then maybe just 1v2 these bozos. Maybe that was a possibility, but yeah, there's the heal. I can still get a crit repulse here, let's be honest. Crit repulse for 11, I see it, I see it. Can you stop doing that? It's 25 every turn! He's just gonna keep healing. Virtues are so broken. Why does this trinket give you virtues? Yeah, you can see that even though I'm trying to play the Witcher Circus a bit more normally, I'm still getting infuriated at the RNG, and this is sadly just something that you have to accept when you play this game. Hopefully it doesn't push you away, but it makes those moments where the RNG is just fair enough to make the plays really quite meaningful, and really quite epic, and honorable, and fun to 1v1 your opponent with. It can still happen. I mean, can it still happen? They're gonna go for the heal now. They have the heart attack recovery. I'm ticking down from caltrips. Yes, Stormy, I get it. You have caltrips. There he goes to finish him. And now I will surrender. So it will still quite close. It doesn't look it because, I mean, there's only one character that's 1 versus 4. Oh, yeah, Shep steamed it horribly. If I had the doggy, or if I had gotten just a bit luckier and like a thing here and there, maybe I would have been able to win. And you know, my opponent got to go first, which in the damage versus stress matchups is really quite huge. And they went for a stun on my Crusader, got the 80% hit chance. If some things just go wrong for you, just have to accept that you aren't meant to win that match, and not really like stress yourself over too much about it. You should stress yourself over a little bit, you know, just to make sure that you learn from it, but at the same time you have to accept that you win some and you lose some. But anyway, hope you all enjoyed today's video, hope it was helpful in some way, and I'll see you again another time. Cheers!